Oh, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, all two of you. Hey, and by the two of you, I mean, I'm watching it right here, so that's one, and I think my mommy is watching it upstairs since I'm in the basement, even though I'm on the second floor. Tell me how that works. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're doing well. It is Sunday evening. I had a very nice night off last night, just a restful night. I was able to kind of relax and kind of recuperate. I had a wonderful day yesterday. Yesterday was a great day spent with my grandparents and spent with my youngest brother. I've known Audie Barber for years now, for years, since 2019, and he literally today, for the very first time, realized that I have two brothers. He has heard me talk about my brother Andrew and knows all about him, and he's heard me talk about my brother Jacob, and he knows all about him. He just assumed they were both one in the same person. And so my mind was blown today. I feel like his mind was blown when he was like, wait a minute, you've got two brothers? And I was like, yes. One's like 3 years younger than me, and one is like 20 years younger than me. There's a pretty big difference there. So that was a weird conversation. But no, yesterday, I spent the day with my grandparents and my youngest brother and his wife and their baby, who will turn 1 on April 1st. If you all remember last year, what an amazing birthday! I would kill for my birthday to be April 1st. That would be such an amazing... I might change my birthday to April 1st. My grandfather, his birthday is April 30th, but it might also be March 30th. He doesn't know which. And my grandma has a couple different birthdays. Some of people say she was born in like 1 year, and another people say she was born in another year. And then yet her birth certificate says another year. And I almost slipped and said what year, and she might have beat me, but you notice I didn't say the years. And so I always think that's cool when you were born in the time period where they didn't actually know exactly when you were born, so it could be across the spectrum. That's kind of interesting. But yeah, so I might just change my birthday from July 26th to April 1st. That would be pretty cool. All right, so well, hello. It was a restful and relaxing evening last night. Kind of just took the night off. I spent most of the day. We can, Kid Rock. We can do that. I spent most of the day with my grandparents and my little nephew. He is just absolutely a rat monster. He's an amazing. Thank you for those of you that recognize I am now. We will talk about that this evening. I am now, and I know a lot of people are going to be confused and don't understand how this works. I am now officially the administrative sheriff of Henry County. You can refer to me as Sheriff Bilbrey. Thank you. We will talk about that here in just a bit. But we had a lot of different things going on yesterday. Yesterday was a day, obviously. And besides it being a day, it was also my father's birthday. So we kind of hung out at my grandparents and did that thing. That was kind of a good time. And so we did all of that. Dad would have been the big 64 years old. 64 years old, 64 years young, had he been around. But so we celebrated the birthday and just kind of hung out and had a good day. Had a really good day with my grandparents. Grandma's back to normal. She's kicking around the house. They're doing really well. And then had a good evening here at the house. Last night must have been a good night for the people in the outer sphere of reality to crack open some bottles and get a little loosey-goosey and get a little goosed up and juiced up, because let me tell you, we had an interesting night here at the fort as far as some of our fans, our biggest fans go. Mike Jones and Connie Richwine, I think they were doing a drinking game. I think they said, here's gonna be the deal. Each time one of the other of us posts a stupid ass comment, we both drink. And then they just said, okay, deal. And they went to town. And Mike started drinking and started posting. And I look, I don't know if they were drinking. That's the only thing I can think, because the comments and the nonsense were off the charts. Off the charts. And like, I will give it to Connie, old Con. We call her Cersei around these parts. Cersei, because nobody loves their brother like Cersei. And someone was like on there trying to fight with him, and I was like, look, you're not going to be able to beat this. This is the love like no human should have for their brother. No sister. It's a love very much like Cersei and Jaime Lannister. Strong bonds. They seemed like they took a beanbag or two to the head. Yes. Yeah. And then when they got done with the beanbag, it was just like maybe they were like just taking shots from the stock of the gun. The posts were insane. She supports her brother unquestionably. Look, hey, you know what? And more power to her. More power to her. That's great. I'm not 100% sure that that's normal, and maybe she needs to get that checked out. I don't really know, but it is there. So I almost went live last night because we had the thing that happened where John decided to make me his administrative sheriff. And I thought about going live last night and talking about that, but I didn't. I figured we would hold it over for tonight. And then today I received a phone call. I received some correspondence from some folks, and because of how I roll over here, I am not currently at liberty to say who these people are, which of course will make the lesser-minded individuals say, "Oh, he's making it up." And that's lovely, because the people on the outskirts of reality might get on and say I'm making it up. You all even those of you that are my fans or my friends or my readers or my listeners or my viewers or my cult followers or whatever you call yourselves. Hell, even you guys might not really know if what I'm saying is the truth or not. But the thing that I love more than anything else in the world is this. See, here's the thing. I always tell people lies are weird, okay? And people who tell lies are weird. If let's say I go to Joey's house, Joey Simpson here, and let's say I'm standing in Joey's yard and Joey and I are having a good time laughing and talking. And then I leave Joey's house and I say, have a good day. And he's like, hey, have a good day. And I leave. Now let's say I drive to Diane's house in the heart of Winchester, because everyone knows she doesn't live in Henry County. Let's say I drive to Diane's house and I say, hey, Diane, while I was at Joey's house, Joey slapped me in the face. And Diane's like, oh my God, he slapped you? And I'm like, yeah, Mr. Diane, he did. And Diane says, I can't believe he slapped you. So then she gets on the phone and she calls Catherine and says, did you hear what Joey did? He slapped Bilbrey. And then it's like gone, because everybody knows that Catherine's got a mouth and she's going to tell everybody. And so then it's out in the world. And Joey hears this. And Joey's like, wait a minute, I didn't slap him. Who slapped somebody? I didn't slap him. But people don't know. All right, maybe it happened, maybe it didn't. They don't know who to believe. Maybe I'm lying, maybe he's lying. Nobody knows. That is a lie that people do that, and people don't know who to believe, and you have to think one way or another. That is a lie, I guess, that makes sense. I mean, it's stupid to lie, and it's stupid specifically if you're a politician. It's gonna come out. Specifically if I'm looking into you. Here's what doesn't make any sense. And this is the kind of lie, and so many politicians tell lies like this, and I don't understand it. Erase that story. Put everybody back where they go. I go to Joey's house. Joey and I talk. We have a good time. I tell him goodbye. And I leave. And then I call Joey on the phone as I'm on my way back to my house. And I say, hey, Joey, why did you slap me? And Joey says, what? And I'm like, yeah, bro, you slapped me. And he's like, when? And I said, oh, just out in your yard before I left. You slapped me in the face. I cannot believe that. I'm going to tell everybody you slapped me. And he's like, dude, I didn't slap you. And I'm like, yeah, you did. See, those are the lies that make absolutely no damn sense. Because the person I'm telling them to isn't Diane, someone that wasn't there, isn't Catherine or Alva or someone else. I'm telling it to the person that it happened to. So when Mike Jones lies to me directly about me, I'm like, I get what you're doing, Mike, because everybody reading doesn't know one way or another. But I know that you are an insane asshole. And it's comical to me. Now remove Mike from the equation and let's talk about politicians. When politicians lie to me about things, or, for example, I say something and they say it's a lie. Okay? If I say something to and about John Sproles, or 2 and about Dan Ridenauer, or about Rick Gardner, or about Mike Wickersham, or about Mike Braun, or about Joe Biden. I can say those things, but if they're, and you people listening might buy into it or might not, but they know it's either true or not. So when I say something about Sproles, the bottom line is, it don't matter what all of you believe or not. What makes me so happy is that at the end of the night, when Sproles is taking off his little size medium costume, I don't call it a uniform because real police officers wear a uniform. John Sproles wears a costume. When Sproles at the end of the night is taking off his costume, he knows. He knows. So that makes me happier. That keeps me going. When everybody out there is knocking me, when it looks bad, when things are going crazy, the thing that keeps me going is that these politicians know. They know. And that makes me so happy. And yes, and that's how it's supposed to be. That's how it's supposed to be, Diane. We are supposed to live upstairs in the minds of these politicians. They're supposed to know that we are on their backsides and we are not going to let up. And someone says, well, I don't understand why it's this way. This is what being an elected official is. Hello there, Karen. So I like it. I always like it. I was telling someone earlier that I always like saying that, you know, I used to say it back during the Winchester stuff all the time when I lived in Winchester and I was fighting that Sean Byram, the mayor over there. I used to say, we got to a point where I was just like, well, you know, time will tell. Time will tell, and the clock's a ticking. Tick tock, tick tock. I used to put that hashtag TikTok all the time because I'm fine playing the long game. I'm fine telling you guys a bunch of information, and maybe you guys believe me, maybe you don't. Maybe some of you question it. Maybe it causes you guys to do your own research. And I'm fine having the other side beat me down and tell me I'm a dog and tell me I'm a liar and tell me I'm wrong. Because I am fine at the end of the day, 2 years from now, people coming back and everybody else has forgotten it. But not me. Not me. I will say, hey, remember this? Remember this? Time's a ticking. Ding, 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 ding. I was right. I love it. So I'm glad you're the sheriff for the trash. I am the sheriff of the trash people. Welcome, trash people. Trash people of Henry County. You have been deemed the trash people by Her Majesty, Her Royal Anus. I may be traveling through Henry County Thursday. Should I be on a double high alert? Yeah, you should probably not be seen on this video. Ah. So, Henry County history will now be talked about in pre-Sproles and post-Sproles. Yeah, PS and PS, or political spotlight. So it works either way. Wear your beanbag resistant outfit. Charlize, wear your beanbag resistant outfit. We got some news about the beanbag situation too. So stick around because we're going to talk about that. So tonight, I didn't really know what I was going to talk about tonight. We're 165, ladies and gentlemen, is a bit of a catch up. Here's the thumbnail. You can see that's kind of a very, very generic thumbnail. 165. In the description, the actual description for this episode, I said a follow-up episode. That's just all I called it. Like, I was not trying hard with this one because I knew all day that this episode was coming, and I knew what I wanted to talk about. And we're going to talk about that thing here in a minute. But then I got a phone call, which then kind of threw what I wanted to talk about out the window. So that kind of was like, oh no, what should I do? So then I was like, oh my gosh, it's 8:45 and I've not even made a thumbnail. So I knew it. Screw it. Every now and then, I think back on, let me see, there was, 153. Yeah, see? 153, I did another episode like this where I just called it 153. And it was actually a good episode too. So this will probably turn out to be a good episode, I think. So first and foremost, I'm going to let you guys know what we're talking about. We're going to be talking about a couple different things this evening. First and foremost, big news. If you didn't hear me say this, because a lot of people just came in, I am currently blocked from posting to groups on Facebook. I can post to my wall, no problem. But I cannot share the links to like the Henry County groups, to the Delaware County groups, to the Muncie City groups, to the Winchester groups. So for those of you that are watching, if you're so inclined, please share not the Facebook link, share the YouTube link to any of those pages, or help share the show on the YouTube side. While you're on YouTube, if you can, do these things at the bottom. I heard someone say today, and I didn't know this. Do you know that when somebody is live, the more people that hit the like button, if there's more likes that are hit during the live episode, it actually pushes it in the algorithm more. I did not know that. I heard someone say that today. So a lot of people will like do live at the end, or like the like at the end. But if you hit the like button early in the episode, it helps to push it in the live algorithm. So I don't know. That doesn't mean anything to me. Do it, cool. If not, cool. What really matters is that you subscribe to the show, and that when you subscribe, you hit the bell so you get notified when we go live, when we release static videos, when we release shorts. Static videos are, of course, the recorded videos that we put out. I put out a 3-minute recorded video today. It shows the problem in Delaware County. It shows the problem, or one of many problems within Delaware County. So, and I also put out a short, so show those and share those, and watch those if you haven't. They're connected to live, so most of you have seen it. But if you hit that bell, that will keep you posted on when we do that. And I swear, one of these days, we are going to start putting out some kind of recorded show that isn't in a live form. I keep wanting to do that because that's where people say that a lot of YouTube videos are. So we're going to do that. But more than importantly than any of that is Comment if you're watching live. If you're watching on repeat, comment down below. Share the show with everyone. You know that's very important. When you're elected, I am not when I'm elected sheriff. I am currently the appointed administrative sheriff of Henry County. You hold your tongue, John. That's a couple lashings for you. And we're going to talk about that. A lot of people, I understand, people are shocked. I am currently the sheriff, the administrative sheriff of Henry County. We will get into that. So I might as well tell you all kind of where we're going tonight. I'm going to talk about the deal with the administrative sheriff part of Henry County. People are like, what are you talking about? I'm going to tell you all about that. We are going to look at the Muncie Redevelopment Commission meeting. We're going to do that closer to the middle part of the show. We're going to look at that. We are going to talk about this mysterious phone call that was made. And so I'm going to keep you posted. And then at the very tail end, I'm going to put up the Sproles creed again, because we have it on its official paper officially now. So I'm actually right now going to send this to Kate to see if Kate can put up in the duck as we are talking. And I know she can because she's great like that. The political spotlight. Yeah, I found it right there. Doop, 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 doop. What is that? Are you buying gas in Timbuktu? Oh, that's not. That was nuts. That was from years ago. Someone just messaged me and said plug YouTube more. I don't really know how I could do that, but YouTube. Find me on YouTube. You can find me on YouTube. Here's the buttons. You know what to do. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, share the show with everyone you know. Comment. That's what these little boxes mean. I generally hate when people do that in shows, but no, I like to do it, but I know it drives people crazy. So I definitely appreciate the help with that. It drives me crazy too, but I have to do it. With Bilbrey as sheriff, the insurance premiums will go up or down. Well, it depends because, it just depends.
Well, if Connie says it's true and you're like some kind of felon, I would imagine it would go up.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Because, I mean, right. She knows everything, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh. You're breaking up the little black bag.
I got my purse with my felon toys in it now. I carry a purse with me as always. Is YouTube blackmailing me? I hope they're not. Yeah, the person who sent me that was from YouTube. So we're going to talk about that. But before we get into how I'm the sheriff, what's going on with Sproles, before we post and we talk about the Muncie Redevelopment Commission meeting, I do have to show you guys, for everyone from Delaware County, I have to let you guys, I have to make you all aware of a very important meeting coming up. And I want to, let me get this thing, the Delaware County government, let me get this thing pulled up here, because we talked about this at the very end of the last show. And I need to plug this. This is very, very important. Why is it not? It's not on the It's not on the meeting. Let me get it. Click here. Let me go here. Okay. April 4th, Plan Commission cases to be heard on April 4th. And I believe I was wrong the other day. I said that I didn't think that it would happen at 6 o'clock, but it is going to be happening at 6 o'clock. Okay, here we have it. I have it up here now. Let me show you this here. Give me 1 second. So this is hello, Ryan. As you know, I am the sheriff. Thank you. He knows, he understands. Here at the Henry County Sheriff's Department, we are very narcissistic, so that's the way to my heart. Be sure to refer to me as sheriff when you come in, and you'll get special points. All right, folks, in Delaware County, this is very important. All seriousness. Delaware County, Muncie City Metropolitan Plan Commission. They are having a regular monthly meeting on April 4th. Thursday, April 4th, regular monthly meeting agenda. Date April 4th, 2024. It will be in the Commissioner's Courtroom, the 3rd floor of the Delaware County building. It will take place at 6 p.m. I have no clue if this meeting will be live streamed or not. It should be live streamed. And as of January 2025, by law, it will have to be live streamed if it will continue meeting in that room. So I would hope that they would just go ahead and start with that process. I will promise you all, specifically the Tim Nickums and the people up in Gaston, the people that are very concerned, I promise you that I will take my gear, and if they are not live streaming it, I will live stream it. This is a meeting that is going to be focusing on the solar ordinance ordeal, okay? So this is the Delaware-Muncie Metropolitan Plan Commission, Thursday, April 4th, 2024, regular monthly meeting at 6 p.m., the 3rd floor of the Commissioner's Courtroom, Delaware County building. All of these folks are involved. This is Ed Carroll's son. Here's Jerry Dishman from the city. Here's Shannon Henry from the commissioner. Here's Michelle Owen from the city. Here's Alan Wisely from the city. So, just letting you know, here's Adam Leach from the city, and just various other people. Minutes, consideration of the March 2024 meeting minutes. New business, MPC 0324A, jurisdiction, county commissioners, being a consideration of a resolution of approval to amend the text of the Delaware County Comprehensive Zoning Ordinance regarding large solar installations, specifically Article XXXI. That's a Roman numeral of some sort. Kate, do you know what it is? Section 13D, 2 and 3, correcting language in the ordinance. Legislative action, staff report, adjournment. Now, we see that there's no part on here for public concerns. However, they will give you time to talk. I believe that's what they say in the announcement. So I'm hoping that won't be a problem. I want to pull up this and let you guys see this before we go off this and get talking into other stuff, because this is very important. This was this was brought up Uh, what is this?
Now, this solar is to possibly amend it because of the setbacks. Is that what this is?
Yeah, oh God, I am so sick of this. Yeah, we'll get back to, yeah, I want to show, yeah. So where did this post go? Let me see. It might be on. Yeah, it's something like that. I'm trying to find. I'm going to show you guys an example of just downright insanity here in a minute. So I want to read this to you. This is from Amber Green. She is a running for Delaware County Council. It says, and I read this the other day, but I want to read this at the beginning of the show when I know a lot of people are on. A member of the Plan Commission reached out to me with the following clarification on a post that she made. So the ordinance right now says that 250-foot setback is required from the solar facility to the non-participating dwelling, but a 500-foot setback is required from the fencing to the property line. These two do not make sense with each other. The new requirement will make the setback 250 foot from the solar fencing to the property line containing a non-participating dwelling, and a 500-foot setback from the solar facility fencing to the non-participating dwelling. The only situation where the setback would decrease under the new language than the old language is if the non-participating dwelling is more than 250 feet away from the property line. Okay? Amber then had this to say about that. Amber says, the solar issues continue. Setbacks already agreed upon and solidified in solar ordinance are already under attack yet again. If we're going to open up the ordinance for amendment, let's review good neighbor clauses as well. If this is something that is important to you, I urge you all to attend this meeting. And then, of course, she posted the picture, and I'm going to share this picture with you all. Here's the picture, and I know it's kind of hard to see. This was the published notice, and I just want to give you what it says to do in here. It says the hearing will begin at 6 p.m. in the commissioner's courtroom. Comments pertaining to Section 13D 2 and 3 may be forwarded by phone to 765-747-7740 or by email to mapope@co.delaware.in.us. Any individual with disability may request accommodation in order to participate in or benefit from the public hearing. Requests for accommodation should be made at least 4 days in advance of the public hearing by contacting the DMMPC office by phone or by email to Mary Ann Pope at mapope@co.delaware.in.us. Please be advised the hearing may be continued from time to time as it may be found necessary. I am going to call here tomorrow, and I'm going to find out if this will be live streamed, because this needs to be live streamed. This solar ordinance fight is a massive fight that many people have cared about, and this is a big, big deal. So I want people to know when and where and how and what to do. So that is there, and I want to bring that to people's attention. That is very, very important. All right, enough of that. Now, before we move on to the Henry County stuff, I want to show you just some of this insanity just that's going on, and it goes on every election cycle. It's like just insane, but it's really, really, really increasing, and it's driving me nuts. Okay. So what we're going to see here is an ad for Troy Ingram. Troy Ingram is a candidate that I am supporting. I am supporting Troy Ingram in his run for county commissioner. He is running against Sherry Riggin. I've got nothing personally as a person-to-person against Sherry Riggin. She's just weak when it comes to all of the corruption and the chaos and the craziness going on. And I can't sit by and just allow her to just sit by and do nothing anymore. It's time to call attention to this. Troy would be a perfect person to take over for her. And he's coming from behind the gun because he got into this late. So we really need to get him help. All right. He's having a golf outing. Troy Ingram for county commissioner golf outing. 50-50 in raffles. $250 per team. The 6th of April. That's coming up here really quickly. The 6th of April. $50 hole sponsors, $100 event sponsor, 8 a.m. registration, 9 a.m. tee time. To pre-register, contact Troy Ingram at 765-283-6935. Chad Mock at 765-749-8641. Or Andrew Pop at 765-748-4167. He's posted this. Troy shared this. And then he tagged other people. All right? That's something that happens. That's something that goes on in politics. Amber shared it. All right? Then we come over here in the comments, and I just saw this while passing it by. Tom Bennington, who's kind of like an upscale Mike Jones. He's a little bit more civilized than Mike Jones is. Mike Jones is like the Dollar Tree Tom Bennington. Okay. Tom Bennington is a man who used to be somebody. He's grasping to hold on to who he used to be, fighting in a world where he's quickly becoming a dinosaur and fading out into nothingness. Tom lives in Florida, and he's concerned about what goes on up here. Yada, 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 yada. Okay, whatever. Great. Tom says, I'm having lunch with one of those on your list that day in Florida. Pretty sure your list is bogus. Fake news. Now I have no idea what the hell he's talking about. I don't see any list here. Let me click this over. Yeah, I don't see any list here. Yep, there's some meat. I don't see any list there. All right, I see no list. All right, I like that Chad Mock responded to him and said, what list are you talking about, Tom? I am more than sure we know who is attending the event. Have you still not got the memo that only people who still listen to your nonsense are those that are in your echo chamber? Do you actually believe the nonsense that comes out of your mouth, or are you just talking to try to keep your relevance? Remember, it was your generation that led us to this mess that we are in today. You, sir, spew fake news with everything that comes out of your mouth. Let it go, Tom. It's okay that your relevance is as old as you are. This is why the Republicans have fractures within their party. If you never spoke, I would assume that you were a leader. Keep talking, though. We enjoy your help. Like, I don't understand what Tom is even saying. Tom and Mike Jones and a few more of these king lackeys are so afraid that Sherry's going to get beat. They're so afraid that King is going to get beat that they are spiraling out of control.
You know what I love, though? Mike Jones, people like that get on Troy's page. They get on Catherine's page. They get on Stephen's page, and they spout their nonsense. Do you know what doesn't happen? The comments don't disappear and people don't get blocked.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
They actually support freedom of speech even when it's not in their support.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Oh,
Isn't that really crazy? That is very funny. I had someone ask me yesterday why I don't block. Well, yeah. No, and that's very funny. I had someone ask me why I don't block Mike, and I said because I owe Mike or Cersei or no one anything. I know I owe no one anything. I could stop doing this. I could shut this down. I could record these things and push it out. I could get on and make a post and block everyone, delete everything. But I'm okay with the other side's thoughts. Hell, the biggest thing happens is they end up campaigning for us. Mike Jones is like the number one visitor to my page or to like Stephen Brand's page. And as soon as someone posts something, bam, he's there posting too, right along, to the point that like folks that don't speak up are now going to him and being like, Mike, dude, are you like, what are you doing? Are you okay? Yeah, Troy, I realized what that was. You know how that works. You know how Facebook works, and you know, Tom and some of these other people that are just like, it's like you did nothing wrong with that, but they needed to turn around and make it bad. They needed to make what you did was bad. You were a bad person. How dare you lie and post your fake news? Dude, I just was using social media. Shut up. Go pet the alligators or something. You know? that was unintentionally far more meaner than what it meant to be. But it's funny, and I think I like it. I think I'm going to stick with that when I talk to him. Go pet the alligators. All right, now it's time to talk a little Sproles. We need to get like a jingle. Sproles news, Sproles news. Dudes, listen to me. So yesterday, Sproles went on an absolute meltdown. He was like, I think I want to go flying today. And everyone's like, okay. And he went out and he jumped in the 2-seater airplane. And they were like, we're going to chart your course to. And he's like, straight towards that mountain. And they're like, well, you're going to pull up, right? And he's like, nope, I'm going to fly straight through it. And they're like, you can't do that, Sheriff. And he's like, nope, I am. I'm going to go straight at it. And it will get out of the way, I promise. And they're like, okay. And he gets in, he takes off, he gets up to cruising altitude, and then he gets going. He just puts the pedal to the metal. He's going full steam ahead, straight into that mountain. Crash, boom, pang, pow. And straight into that mountain he goes. He literally had the audacity to tell, listen to what I'm telling you. He, the duly elected sheriff of Henry County, Indiana, had the audacity to tell not one, not two, but somewhere close to 3 or 4, maybe more, various Henry County citizens yesterday, Saturday, the 23rd, he had the audacity to tell them that he no longer cared about his constituents, those people. He no longer cared about their comments or their concerns. And he told them to take their concerns not to him, their elected official who they pay his salary, but he told them to take their concerns to yours truly. Now, listen, I am completely shocked. I thought Sproles and I were working ourselves into like a good old fashioned, mortal enemies. I wouldn't have thought that he would say, listen, in areas that I am not competent to speak, in areas that I can't control myself, my emotions, my mental state, what goes on, I am passing the baton to a man that is far more mentally sturdy than I am. Take your concerns to Kristopher Bilbrey. Now, listen, I had to say I was really taken aback. I was like, I kind of, I got choked up. I teared up a little bit. I was like, I don't know what to say. I love that, Cindy. Is that considered a verbal contract? I believe it is. In my opinion, definitely. I was shocked. Now keep in mind, Sproles kind of forgets that he's not just a deputy anymore, getting paid completely by county tax dollars. Oh no! He gets paid by the state. And he's a law enforcement officer that has statewide law enforcement jurisdiction and statewide police powers. So, for the sake of stupidity, even if Diane didn't live in Henry County, even if some of these other citizens didn't live in Henry County, as long as they, didn't live in Illinois or didn't live in Colorado, as long as they lived somewhere within the boundaries of Indiana, specifically if they lived connected in a county that is connected to Henry County, in my crazy mind, they have a right to ask Sproles whatever they want to ask him. And he, in my opinion, has a duty to respond. Because as state citizens, you are paying for Sproles. We all are. We're all responsible for his insanity. So the fact that he's, and listen, I'm kind of being stupid here, but I'm being really serious when I'm saying John Sproles on yesterday's date. Yes, you can. That's my second official action. He responded. What did he respond with? Did you already text it to me, Diane? If you didn't, send it to me. He didn't have a problem leaving Henry County to go to Randolph County during the tornado. Yeah, right. So he literally was telling people He was literally telling people that, he didn't care what they had to say anymore. So it's really, really strange. Well, yesterday when I saw... Oh, yeah, I'm still blocked. I'm still blocked from his account. Definitely. Yeah, I'm suing him for that. Hold on. Sorry, I was reading a message that someone sent me. People should stop spending money in Henry County whenever possible. Oh man, here's the thing. I truly, I feel where you're going there. I hate it because I don't want to affect the other people. There are some good people in Henry County that are trying to do well. I'm very conflicted in all of this. So I want to show you guys this. And let you see. This is an amazing piece of art here. This is Sproles standing behind. This is like a scary future prediction. This is like Sproles standing behind, I guess, a future vision of what Henry County might look like in a couple of years if he remains sheriff. Now, someone sent this to me. I did not make this. I do not know how this was made. It looks like it could be a Canva thing. It also looks like it could be AI. It looks like it could be an AI deal. So I don't know how or what's going on here. But I want to read this. This is a very important, my first memo as administrative sheriff. Henry County Sheriff John M. Sproles, the king of the FNGs, is in a complete tailspin this weekend. And I'm honestly afraid... Oh, no. Whoa. That's not... I want to make sure I'm reading the right thing. Oh, yeah, this is it. Okay, this is it. Sorry. Yeah. Okay, this is it. Henry County Sheriff John M. Sproles, king of the FNGs, is in a complete tailspin this weekend. And I am honestly afraid he is not capable of dealing with the mental strain of being an elected official. But I want to caution him about something serious. John, it is okay to not be okay. No one, including myself, will ever say anything negative about that. That said, if you need help, you should seek out help. But then you should consider if you shouldn't be in that position that you are. But all of that said, if you should happen to have another crisis like you had in 2006, And if deputies from your own department have to be involved, I want to caution you about interfering with the official reports. Do not tamper with them. Do not change them, and or do not cause them to be interfered with, tampered with, or changed. It is a well-known open secret that right around either before or after the 2022 primary election, the reports connected with that 2006 incident were altered, changed, or tampered with, which is a no-no, just like the incident with your parents. And look, all of that will come out in due time, and those involved will have to deal with it. But I am just giving you a bit of advice. Don't dig the hole deeper. The cover-up is always worse than the crime or the initial issue. Just a friendly reminder for Sheriff Sproles, who seems to be having a crack up. Stay tuned. Okay? And then a short time after that, I then posted the following. Earlier today, in a very strange move, the unstable sheriff of Henry County started telling citizens of Henry County that he was more or less not interested in hearing their concerns. Sheriff Sproles, in a very shocking turn of events, told those citizens to take their concerns to Kristopher Bilbrey. That's me. Hey, look. I've got...
I know it's spelled wrong, but, Sprolesy, so.
Yeah, right. What in the hell? I'll have to dig mine out somewhere here. Okay. That's hilarious. So I go on. Now listen, I don't know what to say. I'm shocked. I'm honored. And while I am not a citizen of Henry County, nor was I elected in any capacity in Henry County, I will accept this position as the administrative sheriff. One thing I promise you all is the following. I will not come anywhere close to harming the county the way John M. Sproles has in his short reign of terror. I will listen to you all. I will communicate with you all. I will communicate with the commissioners, the counselors, the auditor, the coroner, and all other elected officials. And I will do what I can to improve the absolutely insane situation that John M. Sproles has created as the elected sheriff of Henry County. For the record, I have no authority or no power, but if the duly elected sheriff of Henry County is telling living and breathing citizens of Henry County that he is done listening to their concerns and they should take their concerns to me, well, then why not rise to the call? So I state this oath of office to you all here and now. I, Kristopher H. Bilbrey, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America and the state of Indiana. I will faithfully and impartially discharge my duties as administrative sheriff to the best of my skill and ability, so help me God. My first action of business is warning my subordinate, John M. Sproles, to not tamper with any more reports or have any more reports tampered with. And while I would love to say more about that, I'm just going to leave you with that nugget because, unfortunately, I can't really say any more about that at this point. Just listen to what I said and take it for what it is, because one of these days we will have a show where I will talk in a little bit more detail about the reports that have been tampered with. And you've got that right, folks. The reports that have been tampered with. Keep that in your head right up here. Okay? So that is very important. John Sproles then continued to delete and do crazy shit. It was nuts. And then his sister went off the deep end yesterday evening. And I kind of thought that was going to be the end of it. And then a little bit ago, I got a phone call that really kind of shook things up. I was contacted by, so does this mean I can fix my speeding ticket? Yes, it certainly does. It certainly does. However, I felt like I could instead pay that via pennies or something like that coming up. I actually have to, like this week. I gotta go to court this week. I was contacted by a source a little bit before the show started that said that they had been trying to contact me for a while and they wanted to talk to me about the deal with Sproles and Neal. Marquette Neal. And I was like, okay. And they just said that they wanted me to know that the situation that Sproles continues to spout, that he had to hurt Mr. Neal by shooting him so that he would stop hurting himself, was all brought up after the fact. That was not what was originally and intentionally said. That this issue with the beanbag gun was premeditated. That he had clearly and openly told multiple folks that if there were any more issues with Marquette Neal, that they were going to handle it by shooting him with the beanbag gun. And it wasn't going to be somebody on the team, that it was going to be the sheriff who came down and who shot him with the beanbag gun. And that the reason they were doing that was to, quote unquote, stop or quell. How do you say that?
Quell
the disturbance. And so then when Marquette was in the jail cell, kicking the steel door with the bottom of his foot in a mule kick, the sheriff gleefully, as we saw, he smiled the whole time. He was laughing and having fun, talking about, the one guy's big muscles and no one being afraid of him, or everyone being afraid of him. And at one point just said, all right, out of the way, I got this. Open that door up. I'm going to shoot him. And that was the deal. And that afterwards, when they all ran around doing this, and after he was taken away, when they ran around cleaning this mess up and writing the reports, that it was only then that the thought of, well, we didn't want him to hurt himself. And so that was put in as the cover-up. But that this was premeditated. 100%. And that made me remember, I remember a part in the long video, and maybe not everybody heard it. Maybe not everybody remembers it, but I recall a point in which Stacy Guffey, who was the acting jail commander at the time, he makes that comment to one of the young deputies in like the pod area, because he's like, they're in there talking, and they're like, tell him that if they say, tell him if he doesn't change his behavior, the sheriff's coming down with the beanbag gun. And now I remember that. So this is something that they had been telling him. Sheriff's coming to shoot you with a beanbag gun. Here it is.
Well, now it doesn't work. Now it doesn't work for everybody here. So if I was these other guys, whoever be kicked off is you. Nobody gonna do nothing to you? What, in here or out here? Period? We'll change that right now.
Yes, sir.
Well, Sheriff, I'm going to you guys in.
Did you hear it?
Well, Sheriff, I'm going to you guys in. What are you doing? Well, now it doesn't work. Okay? All right, let's go. He wants to play this game. Yeah,
Close.
yeah, go close it so we don't go back in.
You want me to?
Yeah, go ahead. Sheriff's rules.
Hey, hold the door.
These are local sheriff. Sheriff's rules. We're going to get road officers. We're not going to use the force on you, except hands-on force, but we will be compliant one way or the other. I'll get the kids to do something like that. You know better than correct. So by the standards of the sheriff's authority and rules and orders, we're going to be calling road guys when they come in. Okay? All right, let's go. He wants to play this game. So I really need right now for you to understand that. And there's consequences for what to do. Just, why did you do it? You just didn't want to hear it no more, or what? Mark that either comply or we're going to have to take that from. Mark that. Comply or we'll take that from. What are you going to do, Mark? Yep, what are you going to do? Why are you being this way? What are you acting this way for? What are you cussing for? Okay? How much more time? We just got you off of having this, we just got you off of that. We'll keep you were doing that. So why are you happy? All right, following the road, guys. We're getting to comply one way or another.
Here goes.
Yes, sir.
Sheriff's rules.
Hold the door.
Our local sheriff. Sheriff's rules. We're going to get road officers. We're not going to do use of force on you. Hands-on force. But we will get you to comply one way or the other. I'll get the kids to do something like that. You know better than crap. So 5 to 10 is the sheriff's authority and rules and orders. We're going to be calling those guys in to come in. Okay? All right, let's go. We want to play this game. Yeah,
Close.
yeah, go close it so we don't go back in.
You want me to?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Now it doesn't work for everybody here. It don't work. Well, now it doesn't work. Now it doesn't work for everybody here. So if I was these other guys, who would be kicked off is you. Nobody gonna do nothing to you? What, in here or out here? Period? We'll change that right now.
Yes, sir.
Call the sheriff. I'm going to you guys in.
I know he says it another time in there. I know that he says it another time, and I'm telling you that that's what I need to know. I want to call the FBI and make sure that because there are people out there that know this information, and maybe they've talked. I don't know. We'll have to find that out. But I'm just letting you guys know there's definitely more to what goes on here than what we're being told and what the sheriff is still telling people. Like, for the love of God. And here's the thing, what he doesn't understand is he wrote his report so many days after it happened, and that is so bad. And then now if they find out that there's people out here that have conflicting stories than this, that to me looks really bad. And I think it looks bad on Mahoney, the prosecutor of Henry County. I think it looks bad on everybody that's basically still under Sproles, that put up with this, that was there, that was part of this. All of those people are guilty of not speaking up and saying the right thing. And it's and it's wrong. And to hell with all that. So
I get he's not being cooperative.
Yeah.
But if he's not being cooperative, why don't they just go and put him in cuffs?
Yeah, right. I mean, yeah.
You need to shoot him?
Because he's not being cooperative, but he's not being like wild. He's not being out of control. He's not being like over-aggressive. Now, look, and I understand, like, look, there's things he did. He's like tucking, which is things that they look for to make sure that they're not, that they're going to fight and things. So he's doing things, but that's only because they keep amping it up and pushing him, and look, he might have went hands-on if they would have tried to touch him. Maybe that's the case. The situation is, I'm also hearing that while he has in the past went hands-on with deputies or COs in the Henry County Jail, that before this, he had a pretty easy time in the Henry County Jail. They hadn't been a lot of chaos and craziness. He hadn't been just beating the hell out of people. You know what I mean? And so it's just it blows me away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I just told him, like, hey, cleaning supplies up there when he comes out.
Charging criminally with that.
There, and because he had 2 blankets, Armstrong mentioned it. And I went up there and I talked to him about the blanket. I was like, man, we're gonna get it some way or another. And he wet it and threw it down. Wet all that, and then he fucking pulled the TV down. Here you go.
Can't trust him.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, here I got you.
Check this. Just want to make sure.
Wet all that. Okay. I gotta wipe it home.
Let's say it one more time here.
Yep.
Neal Armstrong, you're needed back in the pod. 5 minutes like that.
Yeah.
Housing.
Lord, make it wet too. Motherfucker.
Close.
Yeah.
Here comes Stacy.
Yeah, because I went up there and
This is the
because he had 2 blankets. Armstrong mentioned it.
Got a reason? I was like, well, they won't want to charge you criminally with that. So it's all over the TV. Everything is about the TV. Yeah.
In that very wet blanket thing right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I just told him like, hey,
Putting cleaning supplies up there when he comes out. That's the last time. DOC. One of the side sales was a suicide blanket.
yeah. Okay.
oh fuck it.
What's he doing?
Huh?
Was that guy fired?
All right, enough of that. So that's that. You've watched that. You can go on the channel and watch it. Watch it from forward to backwards. I guarantee you, I know that I heard Guffey say it at least one more time, and I know that there are people out there that are saying that they talked about it well before and they talked about it afterwards, and that it wasn't until all of these reports started coming out and that people heard it here and people heard it in the newspaper and other places that Sproles was saying, well, we're doing it because we didn't want him to get hurt.
Did that one guy get fired?
Did what one guy get fired?
He said, fuck it.
No, hey, that's a good, I don't know. That's a really good, I don't know who said that. If anybody is watching and you guys can tell me the guy that said that, I would be interested. Did that guy get fired? That's very interesting. I don't know if he did. I mean, I would hate if that guy got fired for that. That is absolutely ludicrous. But I do want to show you guys yeah, I want to know if that guy, if we know who he was. I would like to know if anyone knows who he is. I do want to show you before we move off of this real quick. There is a Sproles cartoon that someone made, and I figured I would show you guys this. This is real fitting, and this cartoon goes like this. It's these deputies and these sheriff's deputies. Sproles right here says he's gonna jump. We gotta stop him. And so then, of course, they pull out their guns and they shoot and kill him. So there is a very Sproles related. Oh, right here we go. No, he didn't. He works for another department now, though. Megan Neal says, oh my God. And Megan Neal's on Facebook. You mean you don't watch this on YouTube? You are borderline criminal in and of yourself. I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. No, I'm just kidding you. It doesn't matter how you watch it. It's fine. But YouTube is better. Is Sproles the headmaster at his school? Ooh, that's a really good question. I don't think so. But that would be really weird, and that would be very creepy, but I don't think that he is. All right. So we've got enough of the Sproles talk for now. We will have more coming up soon. I do have a records request into Sproles. FYI, I did send out the request last week for the email that he says that he got from the FBI telling him that he is completely clear. And I asked for all other communications between him and the FBI. And then I also asked for a couple of other follow-up things. So we will be looking for that. That should be coming in here. Hey, look here, Lenny, about an hour late. Thank you very much, Lenny. Thank you. Are you just that far into the video? That's crazy if that's true. That's funny. All right. Let's see here. I'm still looking for videos of the other. And I've not heard any more about that. There's somebody that's watching that said they were supposed to get me something about that, but I have not heard anything more about what happened the other day. So I'm still waiting to hear more about that, but I'll keep you guys posted. All right. Hey, moving on really quickly before we go on into Muncie, I do want to show you guys. I did release a video today that it's called $35 an hour Texas Charlie. It's a quick little 4-minute or less video about the $35 an hour Texas Charlie situation. So please check that out and share that around, specifically if you're Delaware County. If you're Delaware County people, check that out. And I also then have one about a short, just about 22 seconds, about the Cowboy Kid Commissioner Jimmy King taking a shot at the Muncie mayor. And that brings me to mayor, the city of Muncie. Mike Jones said last night in this, when it released this morning, he got on my Facebook and he said I posted the short on this is how this guy thinks. I posted the short on Facebook. I said, who is Cowboy Kid James King running against? Here I thought it was Stephen Brand from Delaware County, for Delaware County Commissioner. But yet in this bizarre clip of Jimmy below, we can see and hear him taking shots at Muncie Mayor Dan Ridenauer. Hashtag strange. Okay. I didn't say bizarre. Oh, I guess I did say in this bizarre clip. Mike Jones says, ha ha ha, it's only bizarre to one of yourselves. You suffer with having multiple personalities that you flip between. Your special love-hate relationship with the mayor of Muncie is what's weird. Pick a horse. I'm like, what? I don't get it. Like, I am capable of having complex thought in which I cannot like the mayor of Muncie and the mayor's actions and the work he does or has done, while also thinking it's absolutely stupid for King to be taking a swipe at him during his campaign for re-election to the commissioner's office against an opponent that is currently thrashing him. This has nothing to do with liking or not liking the mayor. I'm sorry, Mike, that you're not capable of complex thought. And Mike thought for some unknown reason that was crude Crude words from an unemployed 40-year-old boy. I guess I wouldn't expect any more than that. I'm just really confused. And again, it goes to show what alcohol does to a mind. It's terribly sad. All right. Now moving on with the Muncie city stuff. I do want to take us, because as I told you last week, we do need to let me see here. We do need to take a look at the Muncie Redevelopment Commission, which I told you we would be looking at. And this is important for all of those people from Muncie, and for those people that are not from Muncie. This is a very interesting look at how economic development is handled and mishandled, and all types of craziness. So here is the meeting. We'll speed through this. We won't watch it in long form.
Good morning. Welcome to the March 21st, 2024 Muncie Redevelopment Commission meeting. We'll start our meeting with the call to order and then have roll call. Mr. Bishop?
Here.
Mr. Dale?
Present.
Mr. Miller, I'm here. Mr. Probilla?
Here.
Ms. Wagley?
Here.
And Mr. Lowe is here in the audience. Good to see you today. We'll go ahead and move on to the agenda for today's meeting. Did anybody have any requests for additions or changes? I didn't receive anything from commissioners before I met with Director Howe. Anything at all?
Make a motion to accept the agenda as presented.
Okay, we have a motion and a second by Mr. Bishop. We'll just do voice vote. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes 5-0. Next item will be the approval of the minutes from the previous meeting. You have those presented to you. And then Mr. Dale, if you'd like to discuss your additions. You can.
Yeah, I'd like to just present for the record, and because we got this 2 days ago, I was able to look at it fully early this morning. And as I read through the minutes and then scanned over the video, there are about 10 items that need to be added to the minutes that I think are consequential. They're not minor details, and I've provided to all of you to be as expeditious as possible, and so that we can clarify the record correctly. I've given you a copy of the minutes and placed a number by the addition that I would suggest us making. It's pretty straightforward. It might take just a minute, but I think we take minutes because we want to chronicle the meeting as it happened. And just as an example, Ms. Jameson, not only, well, aside from her name being misspelled, which is not a big deal, she didn't just get up and, this is just an example. She did not just get up and make comments on the development of the former YMCA building, but rather she expressed her concern about not being able to identify or understand who the developer is and what the nature is. And there's just a number of things in here, and I think they're important. And I think they're important to get correct. So I'll be quiet and you can take a look.
I was going to ask, I know Mr. Freeman takes our minutes for us. Mr. Freeman, do you have any comment on just like the particular format of the minutes, how they're presented? Is there anything that you believe's missing that's pertinent? I know you're...
Why do they not have a secretary on the board that does that? Why do they have, I mean, they pay their attorney to take the minutes? That's nuts.
Lawyering and taking our minutes, which I really appreciate. I didn't know if you had any thoughts there as well.
I mean, generally speaking, statutorily, the requirements are the date, time, place of the meeting, record of the members of the governing body as being present or absent, the general substance of all matters proposed, discussed, or decided, a record of all votes taken by individuals, by individual members.
This is so stupid.
And then some additional information if people are attending via electronic means, which wouldn't generally apply here. So beyond that, it's your purview and discretion as to what your minutes say. That's the reason for the amendments process and the approval process. So
The bottom line is the minutes for the Redevelopment Commission have always been pretty detailed. So why would we not want to just take the extra time and do, just hold these off, table these, add the additions if they happen, let people go back and look, and maybe we can vote on it next time. But I don't understand why they're pitching the bitch here.
So
Sure.
they say what you want them to say.
Yeah, thank you. Mr. Dale, are any of these additions reflective of like business matters that were or were not passed? I'm skimming through them now because you just gave them to me this morning, but
No, they're not about any votes, but they are about if an individual got up and had an intent to speak on a certain subject and it's not noted in the draft minutes. It doesn't articulate what that person was expressing, or how, in one case, how our director responded back quite adequately, by the way, to enlighten the discussion. So I would think that those things are consequential. Otherwise, why take minutes? I mean, I understand the who, what, when, where, and who voted for what, but what's being done with these minutes is that there is an expansion over and above what our good counsel just said. There's actually some information about what people talked about. And I just think it should adequately reflect what people actually got up and talked about, or what we shared. Zane Bishop shared that not only did he state at the end of the meeting that he was excited to be a member of the MRC, the bulk of what he had to say was he'd like to be better prepared by receiving some information ahead of time, and also that the public be aware in general what's going to be discussed so they can come and participate in the meeting. So,
okay.
And the rest of them are equally important, but just different.
Are there any other points of discussion from the commissioners before we hear a motion?
I would move that we. Well, go ahead.
I was going to say, just like he said, I mean, I don't know. It's just, I guess, how we want to keep minutes.
This is the first time I'm hearing this guy speak ever.
I mean, what's in here is correct. I mean, so it's fine, but it just seems a little more detailed than I thought minutes were supposed to be, especially since we still had the video and things. But what you're saying here all happened in the meeting. So
I'm not suggesting to be voluminous.
Yeah.
I'm just suggesting to put a little bit more definition so that
gotcha.
For posterity, we're stating what happened. That's all. So I would move that we accept the minutes as I'm suggested with the amendments.
Okay, the motion's on the floor. Do I have a second?
I'll second it, I guess.
Okay, I have a motion and
Woo! I thought it was going to die for lack of a second. Holy shit.
a second. We will go through an alphabetical order for votes. Mr. Bishop?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Dale?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Miller, no. Mr. Perbilla?
Yes.
Ms. Wagley?
No.
Motion passes.
So amazingly, it passed because Pribella came out of his comfort zone and he did something because he seconded. I thought he would look like a fool. I was afraid he was going to say no. But what we witnessed here, folks, is Isaac and which is the city plant, Ridenour plant, and Ridenour's secretary said no, they didn't think that the minutes should be accurately up to date and informative. That's ridiculous.
And we will move on with the minutes. We can add those additions in and move from there.
Thank you.
Mr. Wright, we'll hear the claims now, please. Good morning.
Morning. Sent out the claims yesterday afternoon, and just a couple things to note. We did have a bond payment in there, but there was some fee charges to U.S. Bank that are listed on two different pages, and one of them, they were listed. One was voided, so we just had the one page of payments on those. So, and then our usual utilities, and with that, I'll just open up to any questions you might have.
The only question I had, Mr. Wright, is the YMCA, we're in the rears on those utilities still, right? It's not fully conveyed, or
Right.
is there an agreement for how much longer we're paying on those?
We're still paying. How much longer?
Mhm.
I could not tell you the time on that, but we are still paying on it. So
I'd appreciate just at a later meeting knowing how long we're going to be. Is the property conveyed officially, or is it it's not? So is the presumption that once it is conveyed that they take over?
yeah.
That suffices. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Any other questions from the commissioners today about the claims? Seeing none, I'll take a motion to pass the claims, please.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion by Dale, second by Bishop. Go ahead with roll. Mr. Bishop?
Yes.
Mr. Dale?
Yes.
Mr. Miller, yes. Parbilla?
Yes.
Mrs. Wagley?
Yes.
Wonderful, 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, we have the item on the conflicts of interest disclosure. I know Ms. Wilson can be here today, so Director Howe, if you want to speak to that.
Just, real quickly, annually, members of boards and commissions are asked to do a conflict of interest disclosure. And we are, let me find my notes here.
There we go.
So it's, part of the integrity, transparency, and accountability that we try to use for the commission. We want to acknowledge any conflicts that we might have personally, and acknowledge those so we can, and then it's kind of on your own then when you run into a subject matter in a meeting that does pose a conflict, that you abstain from your vote. And I think, and I'll ask Mr. Freeman to support me or correct me on this. What we have done in the last 3 years is, if you have an interest, not only do you abstain from your vote, you don't speak on behalf of or against a matter before the commission in that effort. So I will give these to you. I can also, if you'd like, we can send it to you in a fillable PDF, but I'll give these to you, and then if you guys can complete these.
Oh, they have them already.
I think we've got copies of
I
them.
gave them. I passed them out with them. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. So I figured we either end up with not enough or 10 times more than we needed, so that worked out. Okay.
Jeff, is there a timeline for when we should have these turned back in as soon as possible?
Well, we do it at the beginning of the year. We're off schedule just a little bit with the appointments. So I would ask if you could do it soon so we can have it. We can have it for the next board meeting. Sure. It's not a very complicated form. And I would ask you to, if you would, return it to the mayor's office, because the mayor needs to acknowledge it. So if you'll do that for me, I'd appreciate it.
Sure, absolutely. And then you're actually up next for the report. Go ahead.
So so on the financials, this is a snapshot of the financial resources at the time, at this date. I know there's been some question about some of the forecasts. I'm not privy to what that is or how that's done at this point, but this is a representation of the current resources. You'll see there are still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 TIFs with money available. You may recall from the last meeting that we did.
I apologize. I don't think we have that with us. Now, I do have the last one if it's not changed much.
You have it. It's in there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yep.
See, I got on the roll.
All right.
Okay.
All right, we'll jump
So
forward
maybe
here.
another one that we've already had a purchase.
Okay.
I have no idea what the status of that is and what they've raised, but they were going to augment that if they raise money. The other update I have is the point. The point is the phase, the White Rural Office Phase 2 is right over here.
This is a big area that we've
The
been
plan
looking at.
for the point, they're continuing to move forward. And I have for you the design.
They have a pretty
organizations.
design. That's an area of Muncie. It used to be the High Street Muncie Plaza, and they bulldozed that. It's set empty for the last couple of years. People have wondered what's going on there. It seems like it's just now getting ready to start moving forward.
And those kind of things. And I think, we'll share these with them as well. But Eli Lilly is looking at opportunities to help arts cultures thrive because
Eli
the
Lilly.
I think the signage looks great. It's a great plan, but of just how open it is and with no boundary that we're going to see damage to this investment. I'm thinking about the signage. I mean, the hard stuff is hard stuff. It's going to be tougher than a car for the most part, but was there, and maybe you can answer this.
I can't.
Andrew,
I wasn't,
a buffer there. That wouldn't obscure, we could elevate the signage, but provide some type of a vehicular barrier so that, because
garage that's half falling down is deteriorating their.
It's also published, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
and that's a residential property as well, I presume.
Project would complement the area.
This property, just so I'm aware, and for everyone else's reference, we discussed on
through this.
Then the Columbus Avenue corridor that connects all the way down to, I guess it would be Elm Street. There is a very active committee. That's the McKinley Live Learn Committee. I sit on that as part of this board.
I didn't know that.
So this is a public-private university project area. So I feel like this property is very important to what the development plans of that entire neighborhood, between the upgrading of the homes and the rehab of some others, and the building of the park and the corridor down Columbus that connects between
Karen,
Walnut, and there will be a park at the other end.
How about a splash pad
that connects the Y to, I mean, it just, that whole area is the focus of the Ready One, not necessarily two, I think, but the Ready.
That's where they think Ball State's going to dump in just hundreds of millions of thousands of billions of dollars to Dan Ridenhour.
One, as well as other combined development efforts.
And there may be other properties, other places,
So you guys know, because and I we've covered this, but I want to make sure. Normally we would see the mayor doing this. We will no longer see Ridenhour doing this. This guy has taken over as the economic development director, which I absolutely just hate. And people will be like, well, damn, you didn't want mayor to do it, and now you don't like this guy. Well, no, because this guy's the same thing as the mayor. Basically, he's just filling in so the mayor can put his people places. The mayor's still the economic development director for as far as I'm concerned, because this guy's going to do exactly what the mayor wants. There's no difference. So it's basically Ridenhour staying there. The only difference is now the guy is even worse. It's like Ridenhour plus worse.
We've not talked about him because I guess we're either unaware of them. Nobody's brought them to. I can't speak to that, but I mean, it's like selling properties, right? I mean, we publish them. We have meetings. It's public. People know what we're doing here. It's not magazine subscriptions. We don't go door to door asking to buy. We don't go door to door asking people to sell. But I think. As we see opportunities, we have to decide whether we think that we should be in a position to influence that or not. And like I say, that could be varied.
And to Jeff's point, I would encourage any member of this commission, if you have ideas, bring them. I mean, if there are other thoughts you have, this is not just the Jeff Howe show, right? This is not just the mayor's show. This is the Muncie Redevelopment Commission. Right. So I would encourage you all, if you have ideas, bring those to Jeff, have a discussion, and see if it's in a long-term.
In an ideal world, if we were to approve an option and we took an option and published it, I I'd be happy for somebody to come in a week later and say, hey, I want to build something. It would be something that we think would be really, really, and sell the option to them.
Sure.
And let them take it from there.
So 4 years ago, when I was on the commission, I presented ad nauseum a 10-point plan. One of those points was doing some strategic planning, really nitty-gritty stuff, so that we could forecast and take a look at the crystal ball. And that was just shot down. I mean, what typically happens in my experience, all due respect, is that things are brought here and we're more reactive as opposed to proactive and being a part of those discussions. In this particular situation, in the void of not having that, I'm a private market person. I'm more conservative on this question. And I think we've created enough inducements that I'm not inclined to support a spot basis decision like that. In all respect. I just want to be on the record for that. So,
Do we have? Go ahead, Mr. Bishop.
Yeah, just
point.
I mean, I guess I would say, I understand why McKinley was chosen as a redevelopment area. I guess first I want to say that there's other entry points to downtown than the north. I would also say even within McKinley, I mean, I'm excited to see stuff rebuilt along Walnut Street. But what I've seen since I've been involved with the Redevelopment Commission the past 8 years is that a lot of projects are the city stepping in, and what we get is either vacant lots or stuff just being rebuilt to kind of what was there before. I'd prefer to see more.
This is going to be a big,
us build on stuff and not just kind of do all this work to rebuild. And in McKinley specifically, we still see a lot of poor infrastructure and poor code enforcement, kind of what I would think that we should be building our neighborhood upon, but instead we're kind of just trying to build these things to a finished state without considering other properties. I'd rather address the whole neighborhood rather than a specific property. So there's still infrastructure and other things that we could be supporting within the neighborhood. But especially with this property, it hasn't been listed for sale since it was originally built, I don't believe. It's always, I think it was built Fork and Canyons, or I don't know, but I'd prefer to see us step in on the things that aren't happening versus try and not trust the procedures that have been set up through zoning and other departments that could be influencing this neighborhood.
Okay. Do we have any other discussion, or can we go ahead and get a motion on the floor?
Make a motion.
What example, like, what do you mean what else do you want to do in the neighborhood that we have the power to do that you feel was not being done?
Because there's a lot happening in that McKinley neighborhood, a lot.
I'm going to call.
You gotta take one step at a time.
I'm going to call a point of order. Let's get back to the discussion on this specific property, which is 620 and 640 North Walnut Street. Are there any further points of discussion on this property specifically? If not, we can go ahead and hear a motion to either move forward with the option or not.
Whoa.
Either way.
I'll make a motion to approve the option to purchase 620 and 640 North Walnut Street.
There's a motion on the
Second.
There's a second. Okay, we'll go ahead and call the roll. Mr. Bishop?
No.
Mr. Dale?
No.
Mr. Miller, yes. Mr. Perbilla?
Yes.
Ms. Wagley?
Yes.
Motion passes 3-2.
Well, of course. We're going to see a lot of 3-2 votes.
Okay. Mr. Howe, do you have anything else for us today?
I don't believe I do.
Okay. Wonderful.
Thank you.
I've been talking about this for a long time. We're going to be on the agenda to be considered at the next commissioners meeting, and I foresee that going through. I'm going to present, but there are 24 properties that we're asking for in the Old West End. Now, some of those may have been redeemed since the last tax sale, so we may not get all of those. But once we do, then there's a redemption, or there's a legal public notice process that could take, I think, 6 months if it goes quickly, efficiently. So we would be having a chunk of property in one spot in the Old West End that we hope to be breaking ground on in the fall. And we might actually start with some rehab projects prior to then. But that's moving along. In addition, kind of bringing it all together, which comment on the conversation earlier. I know that in the past that I think there was an agreement where the land bank didn't take possession of MRC properties, but we help with the review process. And we can do that if that's
the land bank
quickly, and then ask for your approval for the public use of one of the lots just for a marker. But I'll let Audrey talk.
Yeah, so I'm a part of the Center for Emerging Media at Ball State, and we're working with Downtown Muncie on a project that will launch at the Arts Walk in June. This project is a digital project where people will be able to use their phones in the vacant parking lots. There are 4 locations that we have currently, and this will launch in June, but it's going to be available for literally forever. Our goal with this project is to start with historical buildings that used to be in downtown Muncie. We have the Weiser Grand Opera House, cool. Dr. Mix's private hospital, the Indian Union Traction Company, and the Royal Skating Rink. And so those are the 4 stories that we are making this like narrative of, and people will be able to use their phone and experience it with 3D models, 3D images, a narrator. And so our goal is starting with historical, and
that'll be cool.
2 more. Okay. If there's a list, can I see that so that way I'm not guessing?
Jeff, the idea of beautifying McKinley. My to see an aggressive thing, so I have to believe.
Charlie.
Don't worry.
Charlize Jamison. 3 quick points and a couple questions. I'll do it after the fact.
That's interesting, Jack.
First of all, the point and the renderings. I haven't seen them, but I would make a request on behalf of the public that they be posted, and maybe your plan is to do that, but they be posted on the City of Muncie site in the interest of more open transparency and communication, so the public can see them, the people that aren't able to come to these meetings, that we can see what's coming. I didn't see any gasps or hear any gasps or arms flailing, so I have to believe that it's positive. But I think it would go a long way to inform the community and also to give some idea on when we can expect activity, because that whole triangle has been sitting like this for 2 years, at least, somewhere, give or take. The other thing is, now that we have a full-time economic development director, is that your title?
Part-time.
Part-time?
Part-time.
Oh, okay. Should be full. But how aggressive are we going to be as a commission and also in that office at getting phase 2 completed? My recall is that we had a developer, it was the one that was did the first round, close. But as I remember, I think the mayor said the numbers, we just couldn't get the numbers to work before they went off and decided to do something else. You know, I would like to see an aggressive approach to filling the rest of that triangle. We need housing. We need all kinds of housing, quality, low quality. That needs to be filled before somebody in the private market decides to come in and put something else there that may or may not fit. My last is a question.
I have to wrap it up because your time's up. Okay.
My time is up. The property coming across the Walnut Street Bridge there over the river.
We have to wrap
Chief
it up.
Muncie. I love the idea of beautifying McKinley. My question is, that business that's right there on the east side of Walnut and just south of the bridge, is that a functioning business? And is that included in your plans to update, renovate, demolish, whatever? Because it doesn't matter what else you do in the McKinley neighborhood. If that's still sitting there, it looks terrible.
That property is
the brake shop is
the brake shop, but I think you're talking about the
I don't know what it
When
is.
it's even closer.
It's ugly right there. If you're headed north,
Yeah.
It is.
They won't.
It is
They
privately.
won't do anything with it.
And there's uses in there. It's just privately owned. Yeah.
Back to the discussion about site control.
Yeah, it was like a tattoo place at one point. I think that's what's on the side of the building. Yeah, it's privately owned.
But that's a classic example of the difference. And I don't want to go into this. That may be more imminent if the private market can handle the one. That other is probably one that needs some help. But
so if I can add just
please
about the other the developer on phase 2. It's my understanding that the numbers didn't work, but I think the numbers were really more along the lines of, and when you think about the timing of this, labor force, material cost, the cost to construct. I don't know that it was necessarily, and I may be wrong
They
about
should
this, but
have
my understanding didn't have really anything to do
microphones
with
at
the
their
numbers between
table.
us and them not working.
I don't
The
understand
math just
why they
didn't work
don't.
on the project.
So you basically, the city would still own the land, you renovate or put a house on there, and then you rent it out to somebody or sell it to somebody. I would like to see something like a rent-to-own program that would take those properties and make them immediately affordable to people to be able to move into. These properties, because the city owns them, wouldn't need a down payment. It would be a way for people who need housing but don't have the initial funds to be able to do so. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else for public comment? Is that it? Okay. We'll move into commissioner comments. Only point that I have, just for clarification on like renderings and things, that's a great point, Shirley's. And it's been brought up before, like why we don't publish these necessarily when we initially get them. The explanation I've always been given is that when, like this right now, it even says is a design concept. It's not finalized yet. And so I think once we get through the bid process, RFP, whatever else, and then finally start to solidify things, that is when I would encourage the city to release like finalized renderings and design plans, things of that nature. Just because you wouldn't want.
You could put these up and say, hey, these are not finished. We have to still go through yada, yada, yada. And they could go through that process and people could talk to people,
No, Kristopher, they don't publish them because then you end up with the bungalow pole barn situation again.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
I mean, obviously you all can see it and I'd show it to you if you asked me to, but you wouldn't want to release a design concept because the public does get confused about things sometimes. And
listen to this idiot. I tell you, I cannot stand the absolute condescension that drips from this man. This guy is a tool bag.
I would hate for them to get confused and think, well,
I would hate for them to get confused and without us telling them what to think.
Had a design concept 3 years ago that showed that we were getting XYZ. That design could change over the course of a project of a year or two.
That's why communication is important, you tool.
3 or whatever. So that's the only reason why, like, the conceptual drawings, I don't think are necessarily like published anywhere, and there's not a lot of ta-da and hoorah about it.
What an idea.
So that's just all I had on that.
I saw that you did that, Charlize, and I love that you did that, and I love that you're going to these meetings. I don't know if that's something that maybe you just had some free time the last couple months. I don't know if this is something that you're going to start doing, but I would ask you this. First of all, I'll say this. I hope that you have taken an interest in the MRC, and I know you've always kind of been very interested in what they do, and you post and you ask questions, but I hope that your time is maybe opened up to a point where you're going to be able to start going. And I would ask, maybe, because I always say I'm going to get to the MRC, but I almost always have something that comes up at that time slot on Thursday, and I'm always doing something like right at 10:30, and I'm like, damn it. So in the future, I would hope that if you go to these and something specifically crazy or big happens, send me a message and shoot me a message, because I would like to, maybe I could go off of what you're saying, because I love your posts that you've made about this. I think it's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Okay, so I'm going to wrap this up.
But any other commissioner comments today?
My only comment, just in reference to that, is that it has been presented in public now. So the cat's out of the bag. And the second thing I'd say, I was just saying to his point, which is, but it has been presented in public now. So if it's not our best, then I would encourage we wait. But I also trust the public to be involved at every iteration.
The problem is when it's in their hands, it's a public document. So, Andrew Dale's in the right about that.
I think scrubbing ideas create pearls. So that's just a thought.
Fantastic.
Any comments this morning?
Similar. Same kind of comments as last month, but would love to have these handouts before the meeting to review them and digest them, and similarly.
And what he's asking is, as a commissioner, he would like to have the shit in his hand before he gets there. And he's very concerned and bothered by the fact that as a commissioner, he's not getting this shit ahead of time. The county's redevelopment commission has the same problem, and it's disgusting that they would ever do that.
Be provided to the public, in addition to the agenda being posted online. Also looking for like a list of properties the MRC owns and has under control, and kind of what the status or the next steps or the goal is with those properties.
And as you notice, he's going to ask for these things every time until he gets them. And I hope he does. And I think he's going to continue being a little bit more put off the longer he has to go. I love Zane. He's great.
Any other comments? Seeing none, we stand adjourned. Next meeting will be April 18th, 2024 at 9 a.m. here in the auditorium. Thank you so much.
Fantastic. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are almost done. Before we go, I do want to say, as Ryan said, there is a Delaware County meeting on Tuesday at 9 a.m. This coming Tuesday, which will be the 26th. I am going to do everything that I can to be there. I hope that I'll be there. Continue to remember that the meeting, that there is a very important meeting coming up. It's newly been pushed out, and that is the Delaware County Muncie City Metropolitan Planning Commission, Thursday, April 4th, in the same Delaware County Commissioners Courtroom as the commissioners meetings and the council meetings at 6 p.m. And it's going to be to take a look at the being a consideration for resolution of approval to amend the text of the Delaware County Comprehensive Zoning Ordinance regarding large solar installations, specifically Article XXXI, Section 13D, 2 and 3. We got it. 31. Article 31. I should have known that. That's stupid. Article 31, Section 13D, 2 and 3, correcting language in the ordinance, which they're talking about the setbacks. So that's something that all people that's been concerned about the solar situation is going to want to go to and attend. I also want to remind you guys all, go take a look at the 3 to 4 minute little video I put up. It's available for all to see. It is called $35 an hour Texas Charlie. Make sure you go look at that. It details one major problem, one of many problems, one major problem, and one of many problems that we have with local Delaware County government, specifically being the Delaware County Commissioners and the Delaware County Auditor's Office. The good thing about that is 2 of those members are up for re-election, James King and Sherry Riggin. Sherry Riggin is being challenged by Troy Ingram, and James King is being challenged by Stephen Brand. So we can make a difference and hopefully make a difference for the betterment of Delaware County. So remember that. Thank you guys all for being here, tuning in and watching this episode. We will be back tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be a Delaware County day. Unless something crazy happens, I'm going to be talking about Delaware County in preparation for the Tuesday meeting. We're going to be talking about things that are going to be happening in the meeting. There's a lot to talk about. I'm going to be talking about the commissioners. I'm going to be talking about the auditor. I'm going to be talking about the council. I'm going to be talking about the upcoming election and just Delaware County and the issues that are kind of developing in the auditor's office, things that the council are currently dealing with, and what we're going to be seeing on Tuesday. There's a lot of craziness going on. So you're going to want to tune in specifically if you live, work, or play in Delaware County. And if you live, work, or play elsewhere, hell, you can tune in anyways because it's going to be a great episode. You guys take care of yourselves. Have a great rest of your Sunday night. God bless each and every one of you. And we will see you all. What is this? Go pet the alligator, please. I love it. That is going to be something that we use for the rest of forever here. I freaking love that. Oh my God. All right. You guys have a good night. Take care. Goodbye. Goodbye. God bless. Bye. Better than me.